Hey there. I have been in awe today at so many things. The goodness of God, first and foremost, but um, just in wonder of how things occur in time and in God's time. Um, I have visited a place for a few weeks now, and at first I was very hesitant to go because I was positive I'd been there before, and under circumstances that were less than ideal, and was concerned that a lot of emotion would be brought up by going. But I went anyway, after being reassured by a dear friend. And I sat in there on a Sunday morning, and I felt peace and I felt rest. I was enamored by the people and the atmosphere of worship and love toward one another. And I felt a rest. I still didn't know if that had been the place I had been at before, now over 26 years ago, because we had never been in the sanctuary area. I found out that they were having a luncheon today, and so I decided at invitation to go, and knew it would mean going downstairs to the area I so desperately wanted to see. I didn't know what I was going to say or if I was going to have the bravery to ask, to look around. Knowing me, probably not. But I sat through the service and the sermon and the encouragement about storing your treasures in heaven and the things that we do that are chaff, that burn away, that are nothing, and the things that are something to God and that bring glory to Him. And I went down with my son JD down the elevator ride to the first floor, and I was in awe, even just first rolling down there with my wheelchair. And the people were so kind. They were moving others out of the way to get me into the front of the line. And we sat off to a table because I didn't want to butt in line by any means and get food before them. To which someone came up to me and offered to go get us food. Just so much kindness and so much love. And I was looking around and I saw them one by one, door 1, door 2, door 3, door 4. And I said, oh Lord, I think this is it. I think this is that place, but I need to know. And so I got brave and I asked a woman that was being so kind to us, could I go look in one of the rooms? I know this is an odd request, but may I? And she looked at me and sure, and brought me over and opened the door. And I wheeled in, and it was all I could do but cry. Because sure enough, this was a tiny little room that at 19 or 20 years old was the first stop in our underground hiding place for a year, that we would go to a new church basement every month and stay in safety. And I had a newborn son at the time, and I remember the people being so kind. It was a Mennonite place back then. And one giving up of her crib and another giving up of a rocking chair, and bringing formula and blankets and clothing for my then maybe 5-month-old child, 4-month-old. And while cowering in a corner, I still felt a sense of safety there. And I was thankful that that was the first place we went, because God gave a hope in me. Even though I wasn't following Him, He placed a hope in me that early on of we were going to make it, we were going to be okay, and that I didn't have to run back to what I had been in. That somehow it was going to work out. And so afterwards, I just briefly told her about, that had been a spot that I had been in a while ago, and that the Lord had provided that space for us to be safe. And then I had JD kind of stirring me up to leave, because I didn't want to outstay, And as I was leaving, getting ready to get on the elevator, the pastor came up to me, and I had spoken with him once before, and he wanted to make sure he had said goodbye, and did I get everything, that I had wanted, and I said yes, and then I thanked him, and I said, a very nice woman showed me a room that I had asked to see, and explained to him why it was so important to me, and how it actually brought so much comfort and reassurance to me in my story now that God had brought us where I thought would be not more than 21 years left in my life, like that I wouldn't live past 21. To be able to walk into that room now 26 years later and say, wow, Lord, look what you've done. Look what you've done in my heart and in my life, and how you've changed me. Look at how many ways you've blessed me, and I'm able to return here and see this space. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for this. And he smiled so brightly. It turns out he was well aware of the program and what it did. And we had some further conversation, and that he had been involved in it one time and not recently, but would definitely consider it again. And so I've just been walking around with my head kind of just soaring at the goodness of God, and being able to reflect back on how he has had a grip on my life, even when I didn't know it and I didn't know him or honor him. He knew me then, and he knew I'd be his. Love y'all.